Can you guys see me? Can you guys see me? No, don't want to do that. Hmm. Hello? Can you guys see me? You guys can see me? Y'all see me? We good? Okay. Okay. So it's weird. So it's not working. Seems like it's not. Again, I can't see it on my computer, but I can see it on my phone. But you guys can hear me good. I see the comments. Cool. Oh wow, man, that was weird. I don't know what was going on with the YouTube stream. I'm really sorry, guys. This was supposed to be at 7 o'clock in Houston, but it's actually 8:33 now. So we're gonna get right to it. Thank you guys for joining in. This is my first YouTube live. And so want to cover a few things. So if you guys have seen the earlier videos of 21 personnel, get those questions in because I'm gonna try to answer some of those later in the show. And I want to let you guys know that it is Mother's Day weekend, so I will not be posting a video on Monday. I'm going to take this time this weekend to spend with my wife, my kids, celebrate her as a mother, try to celebrate my mother. So for you guys, it is still not too late if you haven't got your Mother's Day stuff. Get that stuff in. And let me see. Okay. 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 We'll get out of that. It's not too late. Get your Mother's Day stuff in, and if nothing else, at least call your mother. Hopefully, everyone has the ability to do that. If you don't have a mother, I'm sincerely sorry. But that is why I won't be posting a video. So on this show tonight, I will be talking a little 12 personnel, telling you my favorite things about 12 personnel and why I hate 12 personnel as a defender. So stay tuned for that. I also have a guest coming on the show next week. I told you guys that I want to have guests in the DB room, right? So I will be having guests, and I will tell you who that guy will be later in the show. Um, uh, Let me see some of the guys who are in the room real quick. Uh, Dave Keon, always see him. He's been a supporter since I started. You should make your own merchandise, Greg the Egg. I'm actually in the process of getting that done. I will tell you why I am rocking the New Mexico gear tonight. I will tell you guys that coming up here in a second. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do now. we're going to roll the intro so we can get going. All right. Still got to get better at that. Cool. Thank you guys. So, like I said, I got a story to tell you guys. I got some news today, and I want to tell you guys a little bit about this story. So, if you guys don't know, my name is Glover Quin. I grew up in small town, Summit, Mississippi. Went to North Pike High School, small high school, in North Pike. I guess you could say, Summit, Mississippi, small high school. Didn't get recruited majorly out of high school. Didn't get recruited, didn't get any D1 offers. I was getting recruited by Mississippi State, and they had a coaching change, so I didn't get any Division I offers coming out of high school. So I ended up going to junior college, and I went to junior college, and guess what? My first year in junior college, second game of the season, I broke my arm. Season over, right? What's funny is I finished the game. It happened in the third quarter. I played the rest of the game with a broken arm, and so I go the whole next week of school and practice with a broken arm. The next week's game get canceled because of hurricane. I can't remember what hurricane it was, but a hurricane was coming, so they canceled our games. So I went to the doctor to get. And boom, my arm was broken. So I had to have surgery. I missed my whole freshman year. Come to my second year, guess what happens? Hurricane Katrina happens. So we only had 8 games originally. 2 of those games got canceled due to a hurricane. So I was able to have a good enough year. New Mexico started to recruit me, right? So I go to New Mexico on a visit. Turns out it was actually cool. I had no idea about the University of Mexico, knew anything about those guys, right? Ended up going out there. The visit was dope. I went out there. I wanted to play football, so the school was cool. The football program was good. They were sponsored by Nike, so I was like, all right, cool. That's going to be dope, right? So I get to New Mexico. My first year in New Mexico, we're playing, had an okay year. My second year, the second game of the season, I tore my groin. Tore my groin completely out the bone, and it got rushed to the hospital. Didn't have to have surgery, but I was out for 2 weeks. Imagine I only missed 2 weeks with a torn groin, right? So, played my whole junior year. I didn't catch an interception to the last game of my junior year. With my whole sophomore year, my whole junior year, didn't catch interceptions to the last game. I caught 2 in one game against, I think it was UNLV. So I ended my junior year on a great note. Come back my senior year, had a great year. Caught 5 interceptions, made all pro, made all Mountain West, first team. Was a great year for me, right? Went on, got drafted to the NFL and had a 10-year career. Well, I say that because I got news today that the University of New Mexico did like fan polling and stuff like that, and I got voted as one of the top defensive backs to ever play for the University of New Mexico, right? And I'd say that not to toot my own horn. I don't say that to, just do anything like that. I told you guys on this channel, I want to motivate people. I want to inspire people. I want to make people feel like they can do the same exact things that I did. I was a small town kid from a small, city, and I went on to a place that was 16 hours away from where I grew up at, and now I will be forever recognized as one of the greatest players to ever play at the school. Another cool fact about that is I am the only cornerback in the history of New Mexico to be named team MVP. I am second to Brian Urlacher as the only defensive backs to be named team MVP. So in the history of the school, only 2 defensive backs have been named MVP of the team. Brian Urlacher himself, and there's only um, one defensive back, one corner to be named team MVP, and that's me. So that is why I have on my University of New Mexico cool hat and my new University of New Mexico cool hoodie, right? So just wanted to tell you guys that I thought that was a pretty cool little story. Um, and like I said, I say that stuff just to motivate people. I want to inspire people. That is what I'm here for, to share my experiences and the things that I went through to motivate you, inspire you, to hopefully help you go on to accomplish big things and not let fear of failure stop you. Fear is a real thing. Um, it just all depends on how you use it. Do you let the fear cripple you to do nothing? Or is the fear of failure so big that it forces you and pushes you to succeed? So it's a quick story that I wanted to tell you guys. So let me take a look at some of these comments and recognize some of these, see what's going on. Congrats, Detroit Lions Hall of Famer. Hopefully, maybe one day. I see Micro Mike said he had a double neck fusion and was told he would never feel his left side again. And he's fully healed. Like that's amazing, bro. That's inspiring. Like to go through something like that and to come back. Like that's awesome, man. That's great, man. He got blown up in Iraq and kept going. Like, see, it's stuff like that that makes playing with a broken arm sounds like so minute. This guy got blown up in Iraq and kept going, man. So shout out to you, Micro Mike, man. That is really cool, man. That is really dope. Wow. So, like I said, on this show tonight, I wanted to talk, kind of wanted to go over some of the stuff that I went over earlier in the show. I know, or earlier on the channel, I know some of that stuff can be confusing. So get some questions in if you got some about some of this stuff. I see my nephew done jumped in the live, so that's cool, man. Appreciate you coming on. So we talked about this 21. I did a video on this stuff, and the reason why I do this stuff is because, like I said, in order to be a great defensive player, you have to understand what the offensive guys are doing. In order to be a great offensive player, you should have an understanding of what the defensive guys are doing. That will help you. If you know what the other team or the other side of the ball is trying to do, you can defend against it. You can prepare yourself. So that is why I kind of started with some of the basic stuff, talking 21 personnel, so you can understand what that means, what the 2 means, the number of backs in the backfield, what the 1 mean, the number of tight ends in the game, understanding the X, understanding the Z. That stuff is very important because the game just builds on that stuff. If you don't understand the basics, kind of like kindergarten. If you don't learn how to do basic math, it's going to be hard to do the next stuff. So if you don't understand this stuff, it's going to be difficult to move forward, because you have to understand, as a defensive back or a defensive player, when you get that sign and they say that it is 21 personnel in the game, you should know right now, your brain should automatically start thinking run, play action. They got a fullback in the game, they're running the ball, and they're throwing shots over our head. So as a defensive back, you should never be biting up on the run in 21 personnel. Run, if they're going to run the ball, let the D-line and the linebackers try to stop them, and we play for pass. That's what we should think when we hear 21 personnel. I did the video on 11 personnel, right? 11 personnel is a little more trickier because they got 3 wide receivers in the game. So that's the thing that you should know is it's 11 personnel. They got 3 wides in the game. They're probably going to pass the ball. If they're going to run it, it's probably going to be some kind of shotgun run, which takes a little bit of time to develop, and the quarterback and the running back are 7 yards deep in the backfield already. So they got a long way to go just to get back to the line of scrimmage. So we should be playing for pass. Obviously, down and distance has a lot to do with that. And nowadays the game is changing. You're seeing a lot more 11 personnel that teams are doing a lot more shotgun, a lot more zone read, and that's helping out. It's tough to defend. It really is, especially the ones that are good. But there's some things about 11 personnel that makes a big difference that we should know. Like I said, I don't have my nickel on this slide because I changed it. But understanding the slot, understanding the tight end, understanding the halfback, you have to be able to understand all that stuff because it changes so quickly. Like I said, they might come out and just have the Z close, right? And you're sitting there like, okay, I'm expecting this Z to maybe go in motion and get to a speed trips, maybe. But then all of a sudden, they going through the cadence, white 80, and then all of a sudden, boom, halfback jumps. Now guess what they've done? They've got to the cluster, and they're getting ready to run the snag that I talked about in the last video. And it happens just that fast, and all of a sudden, this Sam backer or this safety, whoever's on this tight end, don't be expecting it. And next thing you know, this halfback jumps over, we're out leveraged, and then boom, Travis Kelce beats us to the 7 route, right? Because it's a misunderstanding, or this corner falls off to play the 7 route, and now nobody's covering this Z on this little snag, and boom, they throw it to him, he turns up field, or nobody covers the halfback running out the backfield. So you wonder why you look at NFL games and you see guys that are running wide open. 9 times out of 10, it's a miscommunication. That is why all these teams do the motions and all that different stuff, because they're trying to create confusion. They're trying to get people to have to talk. And it's a lot of people in the stands. People are screaming and all that good stuff. So if they can create some kind of movement just to make people talk, right? Just to see who looks uncomfortable, it gives the quarterback an advantage, okay? So I'm trying to go through this stuff. I'm trying to hit some of these comments. Appreciate you guys. How important is it having a multi-dimensional tight end who can catch and block? That is a great thing, and I'm finna talk about that right now in this 12 personnel, okay? 12 personnel is one of my favorite personnel groupings as an offensive guy. As a defensive guy, it's my least favorite. Can't stand it. Why? I'll show you why right now. Okay, so 12 personnel. Let me move my people back where they go, right? So let's talk about this 12 personnel stuff real quick. I'm going to talk to close call first. So, I told you guys in 21, you want to close to the wide tight end, right? This is the wide tight end. But in 12 personnel, they got 2 tight ends in the game. In 21, there's only 1 tight end. In 11, there's only 1. In 12, there's 2. So which tight end do we close it to? Who's considered a Y and who's considered a U? That all depends on the game plan. Who are my 2 tight ends? Is one of them better as a blocker, or is one of them better as a receiver? Are they 2 receiving type tight ends, or are they 2 blocking tight ends? Because you want to set the close call to the blocking tight end. Why? Because I got to move some of the stuff around, guys. I actually did the live show on my Facebook because it actually, the stream worked on Facebook, but it didn't work on YouTube. So sorry about that, guys. So I'm trying to move it back so I can give you guys this information as well. My YouTube crew, I love you guys, man. Appreciate you guys so much, obviously. So let's talk about this right here, right? Why do we want to close it to the tight end? So I haven't explained this to you guys yet, so I'm going to do it right now while I'm on live. So offensively, you see this right here, what this square is? This position is called the guard. This position is the tackle. So you got guards and tackles on each side, okay? So the little gap, though, between the center and the guard and the tackle, on offense, those gaps are called holes. On defense, they're called gaps. So it's a difference. It's a hole on offense, and it's a gap on defense. So offensively, going to the right are going to be your even number holes. Going to the left, it's going to be your odd number holes. Meaning, this hole right here is the 2 hole. The next hole is the 4 hole. The next one is the 6 hole. The next one is the 8, right? So on the left, you have 1, 3, 5, and 7. And the reason why that is important is because a lot of times these backs have like a number. So the running back might be called 1 in this system, or it might be called 2 in this system, or it might be called 3. Whatever that system is, that's what the running back number is. Then the fullback may have a number. A wide receiver may have a number, right? So if we want to hand the ball off to the running back, we might give our formation and all that stuff, and then we may call it 22. So it's basically telling the halfback, you're the 2 guy, and we're giving you the ball, and you're going through the 2 hole, okay? Or you're the 2 guy, and we're going to take you to the 4 hole. Or you're the 2 guy, and we want you to run a sweep to the outside on the left. So we're going to call it 27. You see how that worked? If it was a fullback in the game and 21 personnel, we'll put this U here. If we wanted to do some kind of fullback dive to get a first down, we might call it 32 to go through this 2 hole, or 31 to go to the left side. That is how that stuff works offensively. Defensively, like I said, those are called gaps, right? So, those are called gaps, right? I'm trying to see these comments as well. Cool. I'm glad you guys are liking this stuff. I like talking about this stuff, man. This is what I do, man. I'm a football guy. God blessed me with a great ability to talk football and play the game. So I want to get this information to you guys. So on defense, these are called gaps, right? So this is the A gap. This is the B gap. This is the C gap. And then this outside gap is the D gap. D gap on the outside, okay? So it's the same thing on the other side. We don't have odd and even. This is the A gap, B gap, C gap, D gap. If anything on defense, you have weak and strong. So if they say your weak A gap is going to be away from your close call, so it'd be this A gap. If they say strong A gap, it's going to be the A gap to your close call. And the reason why it's so important to set your front right. Say, for instance, we close it to this guy, but this guy is the better blocker, okay? So if this guy's the better blocker, who do you think they want to run the ball behind? They want to run the ball behind the better blocker, okay? So we closed it to this guy. We made a wrong close call, because now you look over here, they got 1, 2, 3 against our 1, 2, 3, right? So this guy hit this gap. This guy hit this gap. This guy hit this gap. Guess what? There's nobody here for the halfback. The next closest person is the free safety, right? It's a tough tackle for that guy, right? So if we set the close call here, you can see we're gapped out on this side. We got this tackle in this this B gap. We got this Sam back here. We got the end here. And then boom, this Mike is coming to fill this A gap. There's nowhere for them to run the ball over here. That's because we set the front correctly to this tight end. But like I said, that all depends on who these tight ends are, right? If we're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, then obviously we're probably going to treat Travis Kelce as the receiving tight end. So when it comes to our coverages, our man coverages and stuff like that, we're going to want either our safety or our strong safety or our free safety, whoever we want to consider as our best cover guy. We're going to want that guy to be on Travis Kelce, right? So we'll talk cover one coming up here in a couple weeks maybe. We'll start talking cover one, so we'll get into this type of stuff and why 12 personnel makes such a huge difference. Okay, cool. So that is why 12 personnel causes so many problems, right? Because a lot of times they'll come out because they know how you do stuff. What if they come out like this right here, right? And they put the receiving tight end up and they put the blocking tight end in the back. You're going to go close right? But then guess what they got to do? All they got to do is move him up here, right? Now what do? Do you switch it to close left? Do you slide the line? Because if not, you're going to have that big gap way over here, and they're going to run the ball, and the next person that can make this tackle is going to be that safety, okay? So all that stuff is very important. Understand this is 12 personnel. That is why 12 personnel is so difficult from a defensive standpoint. So difficult. Because this right here looks like 12. This right here is a basic 12 personnel look. They put him in the backfield. Now it looks like 21, right? Put the X on the ball. It looks like 21, right? This Zeke in motion over here, and now it's slot, okay? Now what does this look like? this looked like put him in the backfield. Now it looks like 11 personnel, right? But they got 2 receivers over here. So what's going to happen? Is this corner going to come over or is he going to stay? Because if he stay, now they know it's zone, right? If he go, they think it's man, unless you're in, Wade Phillips' system, and corners travel every time in his system, okay? That is the thing about 12 personnel, right? They can bring this U over here. Now we got trips, right? Or trade, whatever you want to call it, because we got a Y on the backside. We got 3 guys over here, okay? Boom, he go in motion. Now we back to normal 12 look, okay? So many different things they can do in 12 personnel. They flex him out. Who's going to cover this guy? Are they going to walk this wheel back route on Travis Kelce or Zach Ertz? Or is this free safety going to cover him? Okay, so that's why it's important to have multi-dimensional tight ends, guys that can do it all, that can block, that can catch, that they're nightmares because they're too big for safeties and they're too fast and good for linebackers. So they're nightmares for those guys to cover. So that is why 12 personnel is one of my favorite. If I'm playing Madden, I'm probably going to beat you guys in 12 personnel. Don't challenge me because I don't play Madden anymore. I used to play. And I was a 12 personnel guy. Defensively, though, like I said, I hate 12 personnel. Hate it with a passion, okay? And that is why. So, like I said, when you hear 12 personnel, if you're a defender and you hear 12 personnel, you should know right now, think in your head, ding, ding, ding. Who knows what's going to happen? Right? Be alert for any and everything in 12 personnel. You hear 21 personnel, think run, play action. That's all they're going to do. They're not going 21 personnel to drop back and throw the ball. They're going 21 personnel so you can think that it's run, and they're going to run it. And then when you think it's run, they're going to go play action. That is why they are going 21 personnel. When you okay. Make sure we still good. Are we still good? We still good? Okay. When you are we still going? Did I lose you guys? Okay. I guess we're still good. So when you hear 21 personnel, think run, play action. That is what they're going to do. When you hear 11 personnel, think pass. If they run the ball, they're probably going to run it out of shotgun. If you see them get under the center in 11 personnel, then think it's going to probably be a quick pass or it's going to be a run. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be quicks or it's going to be a run in 11 personnel. They bring in 3 wide receivers in the game. They're not bringing those guys in to block. Those guys are in to catch the ball. Yes, they got to fake it sometimes and run the ball to throw you off. But those are the things that should be going through your mind. Okay? Next, 12 personnel. Like I said, when you hear 12 personnel, in your mind, you should be thinking, oh crap, it is going to be crazy. We don't know what's going to happen. Be alert for any and everything. Okay, so I'm going to try to read some of these comments and answer some questions. Let's see what we got. What up, though, GQ? The campaign, my man Luke G. Hey, man, appreciate you, man. He been spreading the word, man. I appreciate you, Luke G, for all of that. Jim Bob Cooter. I know this is not Jim Bob Cooter, but if it is, what's up, Jim Bob? LOL, this man just straight deconstructing my high school offense. If he was playing corner, he would know every play. Man, you know what's so funny? When I look at college football nowadays, I'm just like, wow, that was easy. Like, wow, that was easy. I wish I would have knew all that stuff when I played. I know a lot when I played, but when I look at it now, it's just like, wow, that was easy. Let's see. Dave Keon, he's been good, man. I appreciate your support too. Said he had to go. Okay. Let's see. Cool. So, I also told you guys, let me say this right here. I also told you guys in the DB room I wanted to have guests. So that's what I want to do with my live show. I want my live show to not just be where I'm on like an Instagram live and I'm just sitting here like, you know what I'm saying, whatever. I want to be engaging with the fans, and I want you guys to comment. Um, but I also, what I want to do in my live show is I want to bring motivation and inspiration to you guys. I've always been inspired by stories. Everybody has a story, and we never know what people are dealing with, what people are going through. And so you never know what story can inspire you. And that's why I started telling some of my stories. And so what I want to do on my lives is I want to have guests. I want to have people come in and we just talk and we have good conversation about their stories, okay? So that you can draw some motivation or inspiration from those guys. And a lot of those guys are going to be my professional football friends. That's who they're going to be. Guest list, that's who they're going to be. And if you all think that us NFL players are different than you guys, we're not. We're all the same. We grew up, everybody grew up in different situations. We just kept playing. We didn't quit. We just kept playing. We were fortunate enough to stay healthy, and we made it to the NFL. But we go to the grocery store just like everybody else. We put gas in our car just like everybody else. So I want you guys to see that and hear that and get some of these great stories. So I say that to say next week I'm going to have my first live guest on the show. And I got to make sure, I got to go through all the troubleshooting to make sure that we can get it streamed right so we don't have any mix-ups. But the guy that I'm going to have on the show, and I'm going to show you guys in a second, but he's like a brother to me. And I know you guys, some of you guys know this stuff, but he's like a brother to me. And I watched him grow from a little kid, and he became an all-pro and awesome player, awesome person. But you guys know him on the football field for what he can do. I want you guys to know us as people and who we are. Not what we do, but who we are, okay? So next week, the first guest in the DB room is going to be my best friend, my guy, Darius Lee. He's going to be on the show, right? And we're not here to talk about any of the negative stuff. Like I said, we don't hate in the DB room. We congratulate, okay? That is what we do. And I know people are going to have stuff to say. But what we're going to talk about is his story. He has an amazing story. He overcame so much. People don't even realize some of the stuff that he went through, some of the stuff that he dealt with. And we're going to be live on the show, and we're going to talk about that because I want people to hear that. I want people to know, and I want people to take inspiration from that, okay? So Darius Slay is going to be live here next Wednesday. The show is going to be on Wednesday next week. It's supposed to be on Wednesday this week, but I changed it because we were actually supposed to be getting a dog. Yes, we're getting a dog, a little Frenchie. We're getting a little Frenchie. He's supposed to come in on yesterday, but he didn't, so he's coming in on Saturday. So the show next week will be on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And that's, like I said, I'm going to try to make sure all this stuff works so that it is smooth sailing. Okay? Let me get rid of that. All right. So now what I want to do is see if anybody got any questions. Like I said, I know it's late on my East Coast. Like I said, it's supposed to be going earlier. Like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in to the live show. Like I said, it's my first one I ever done. I've never done a live show. So it's only going to get better. That's one thing about me. That's one thing that you should take as well. Always try to get better, right? Never try to stay the same. Just get a little bit better each and every day. And like I said, that's why I'm here, to help motivate you guys inspire you guys, but also teach you game of football so that when you do look at games, you understand this stuff, man. I can just, like I said, I watch games and I hear Tony Romo and all these, announcers on TV and they're talking, they're saying all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I understand it. You know what I'm saying? I know what they're talking about when they're saying double posts and Ernie's and flat snag 7-3 and drive 6 and daggers and all. Like, I know what all that stuff mean, but I'm like, probably 85-95% of America don't know what it means, right? Don't know what it means. So when you're watching the game, they're just talking and they're talking completely over your head. So hopefully, by the time football season start, you guys will have a better understanding, because what's going to happen is once I get through this basic stuff, then I'll be able to put a play on and we can have conversation about the play, right? We can put a play on and talk about, hey, they were in 12 personnel. They came out in the bunch formation. They was in the shotgun. They went dagger. We were in cover 1 or whatever. And you guys would be like, oh, man, I know what that means. 12 personnel. They had 2 tight ends in the game. They were in the shotgun. They got in a bunch formation. They ran this route. They were in cover 1. So this what should have happened, but this is what happened. You can understand football so much better and enjoy the game so much more. That is what I want for you guys. And that's what I'm going to try to give you guys. So, this is cool, man. Like I said, I do this stuff all on my own, right? I do this stuff on my own. I have no production team. It's me. It's just me. I sit here in my office. That's why I call it the DB room. I sit here in my office. I got my own camera. I got my own computer. I run my own YouTube. I run my own Facebook. So when you see people comment, when you see the DB room comment, that is me. That is me, the DB room. If you're on my Facebook, that is me. If you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. That is me. Okay. I actually started a DB room Instagram page too, if you guys want to follow that, because I'll probably just be updating like when we're going to have live events, promoting guests is going to be on the show, just different things like that. That'll be going on the DB Room YouTube page. So questions: How much did a good D line affect how you played? Okay, that's a great question. I'm gonna answer that one. And then what is the advantage of using a nickel against a slot receiver rather than the will linebacker? Also, I'm loving these. Thank you. Glad you're loving it. So first question: how much did a good D line affect how you play? Great D lines mean a lot. When you're playing defense, when you know that the quarterback has a ticker going off in his head that he got to get rid of the ball, you can make quick reads as a DB and you can trust what you see. When the quarterback is not getting pressure by the D line, then you don't feel as confident in going, because you're like, well, the quarterback is going to have time to throw the ball, okay? So when you plan on a good D-line, hey, man, that quarterback got to come back. He got to set. He got to throw. So once he come back and I see where he's looking, I'm gone. Why? Because he don't have time to look anywhere else or somebody's going to hit him. If we're not getting pressured by the D-line, he come back, he look, I break, he don't throw it. Next thing you know, I vacated my zone or my position. Now he's scrambling, and all of a sudden, we're giving up big plays. That affects you as a defender. These NFL guys are good, man. These quarterbacks are great. These receivers are fast. It's hard to keep up and chase these guys all over the field. You see it all the time. These guys chasing guys. They're running crossing routes all the way over the field. Quarterbacks are throwing the ball to the other side of the field. Stuff is difficult to defend. What helps you is having a pass rush, because the offense knows the same thing. They know, hey, they got a great pass rush, so we can't have a lot of 5-7 step drops going on in our playbook this week. We got to have a lot of quick plays where we can get in and get out. So that is something that is definitely huge for the defense. If you got a secondary that's ball hawking, that's trying to make plays, and you got a D line that's trying that can get to the quarterback quickly, you're gonna have a lot of turnovers. And that's what happened for us in 2014. We had a great D line, and I was in Detroit. We had a great D line, and then boom, we made plays on the back end. So it works hand in hand. From Blue Jays, make sure I can say this right. From Blue Jays ARG, question: what is the advantage of using nickel against the slot receiver? So the nickel is another cornerback. So when you bring in another wide receiver, we bring in another cornerback. So the cornerback is going to have better coverage on that wide receiver than a will linebacker. Linebackers are big guys that are in to stop the run. Cornerbacks are smaller guys that are quicker, faster, and they are more agile to keep up with wide receivers. So if they bring in a slot wide receiver, you don't want the little quick, fast guy. Well, as an offense, you want them to stay in their base personnel so he can go against a will linebacker. Defensively, you don't want your will linebacker trying to chase those little fast guys. It won't be good. So that is why you go nickel. Now, when you study, you can understand that, hey, when they go 11 personnel on first down, 1st and 10, they generally run the ball, right? So you may have a situation where you say, hey, they generally run the ball, so we're going to stay with our base defense. And if we go man to man, we're just going to walk one of our safeties down to cover that slot wide receiver and keep our big guys in to stop the run because they like to run the ball on first down. That is why you get that from film study, from studying their tendencies. This is what they like to do. This is what they're doing. Okay, boom, 1st and 10, 11 personnel, we're expecting run. We're going to stay base defense. Safeties cover the slot. Probably going to get some zone depending on who your safety is. Can he cover these slot receivers? If not, you're going to get some zone. You're going to get some good zone, some cover 4s, some cover 3s so you can load the box and stop the run game. Okay? That is why you want to do that stuff. Let's see what else we got here. What up, Q? What tips would you give a young and up-and-coming DB coach? What tips would I give a young and up-and-coming DB coach? I would say this right here. I would take the same approach that I've taken as being a young YouTuber, young videographer, young whatever. The best thing you can do is, as a coach, is get information. Seek as much knowledge and information as you can possibly get. Learn as much about the position. Learn as much about the game as you can. That's going to be the thing that's going to help you the most. Know what you're talking about. DBs will not respect a coach that don't know what they're talking about. If you can't help them, if they don't feel like you can help them, they're not going to respect you as a DB. So that's why it's very important for DB coaches to be in shape. Be in shape. Be able to run. If you need to get out there and run with your guys, be able to run. Be able to show them the footwork that you want them to do. Don't just tell them. Be able to show them. Why? It makes a huge difference. That's why you see a lot of wide receiver coaches, a lot of DB coaches, they are generally somewhat in shape. A lot of the D-line coaches, O-line coaches, those guys are bigger. Why? They're bigger guys, right? So be in shape, be able to run, be able to do those things, show them the footwork, and learn as much as you can. Learn offense and know how they're going to attack you. If you're playing cover 3, if you're playing cover 4, if you're playing man, know who they're going to attack on your team based off of you knowing this is my stronger DB, this is my weaker DB. Okay, this is one of my good guys. I need to lean my safety to help this guy out. You have to know all that stuff. So understanding the game of football, understanding your scheme defensively, understanding your scheme that you're going against offensively is huge. And that is what I would tell a young DB coach. Invest in your knowledge and education of the game. Okay, let's see. I don't understand why the Lions didn't blitz much last year. I don't know. See, that's Coach Patricia's thing. He don't blitz a lot. He's a man cover guy. He don't blitz a lot, and he actually don't even do a 4-man rush a lot because he likes to take his defensive ends and hit those running backs that are coming out of the backfield and hit those tight ends so they can't get down the field. So now you're playing man-to-man defense, and you're really only getting 2-man rush from your 2 interior guys who are not generally great pass rushers. So that is a problem. So hopefully, in year 3 he can fix that and they can get a better pass rush, because it's hard to play defense if you can't, get a good pass rush. Let me see what we got here. Why would a team like the Lions choose to blitz very little? Let's see. What's up, man? How much can a safety impact how well the linebackers play? Mainly, how can a good safety help impact the front seven? So, when we talk about a good safety impacting the front seven, we're going to get into this later into, I don't want to call it a course because it's kind of like a channel. This is not school, but it's educational, I guess. But we're going to get into 7-man fronts and 8-man fronts and understanding what a 7-man front is and what an 8-man front is, okay? So when you talk about an 8-man front, those are your cover ones, those are your cover threes, those are your plays where you're bringing that safety down into the box. General, I'm going to use this one right here. So general 12 personnel, we're just talking right now. General whatever, let's put him in the backfield. Let's create a 21 look real quick. Put him in the backfield. Okay. So you see right now they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys on the line. And then they got 7 guys with the fullback that's blocking. So the running back they got 8 guys. Defensively, who do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right now, they got 7 guys to block our 7 guys, right? So that's called a 7-man box. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in the box, and they got 7 guys. So teams run a lot of 7-man in the box. That way used to make the Packers so hard to defend. Was because teams will have to go 7-man box to protect the pass from Aaron Rodgers. So they were light in the box, and then they hand the ball off to big guys, Eddie Lacy, some of those guys running the ball, and they could get yards. And that's how it was for the Peyton Mannings, and you see that some with the Tom Brady's, the guys that you feel like can hurt you passing, you want to keep your 2 safeties high to try to keep the ball in front of you so you don't give up big plays, and you put a pressure on your D-line and linebackers to stop the run. When you talk about 8-man box, now you get into your cover ones. So when you and your cover threes, and what we're going to do is we're just going to bring this safety down. So now they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys, and then the running back is the 8th guy. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. So now we know it's 8 against 8. In the other scenario, is 7 on 7 blockers, but then there's nobody left to tackle the running back. Okay, so now that puts the safeties having to be that last line of defense. We go 8 guys in the box, and I'm just going to draw up just a simple play. For the most part, this guy has this gap outside, right? So he goes and block him. Okay, this guy, he's probably going to go and block this guy, okay? He is going to probably try to get up to this guy. He's going to block that guy. So now we got 2 guys, right? So this fullback is going to come up here, and this safety has to take this fullback on and be in his gap. And so now this Sam backer, if he runs in here, this Sam backer is the unblocked guy. If this fullback go up and block the Sam, now the safety got a free run through tackle in the backfield. Why? Because we know that we're going to have 1 guy that is unblocked because we have 8 guys, right? And they only got 7 blockers. So the unblocked guy has to be a good tackler and be able to go tackle that running back in the backfield. If not, there is no advantage, right? So this safety right here, when we start talking 8-man boxes, cover ones, cover threes, we'll get into that stuff. That is why it is important, and that's one of the advantages of playing an 8-man box versus a 7-man box to help stop the run. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna get a couple more in. By the way, that was a great question. So having a good safety allows you to be in that box, make plays. Cam Chancellor made living doing that stuff, coming down in the box, making those plays. You see guys in today's game like Landon Collins stays in the box. Unblocked guy Harrison Smith from Minnesota. Those guys stay in the box. They're an unblocked defender, and they run through and they make tackles. They're just what they do. So that's why when we play when we used to play Minnesota, you see Harrison Smith always running through in the backfield, making tackles in the backfield. That is why he's the unblocked guy. He gets a great read. He sees his run, and he just run through and make the tackle. There's nobody there to block you. And if there is somebody come to block you, it's an O lineman, and you just beat them because you're faster than they are. Dose of Dion, what's up, my guy? I did my first live with Dose of Dion. Shout out to Dose of Dion. Go subscribe to his YouTube. He does a lot of stuff for the Detroit Lions. So if you're a Detroit Lions fan, go and subscribe to his channel as well. But he got a question. What are some traits of a good cornerback or secondary play? What do you look for when you're watching them? So it depends on your system. That's what it always depends on. It depends on your system. Are you a tough man-to-man guy system, or are you a zone system? If you're a zone system guy, you don't really care how fast the guy is. You care how smart he is. You care about his instincts and can he tackle. Why? Because if you're playing a lot of zone, you're going to have to tackle. If you're a man-to-man scheme guy, you don't really care how good his instincts are. You want to know what's his size. Can he run? How quick he is? Can he keep up with these wide receivers? Because a lot of times when you play man-to-man defense is not an interception defense for corners. Why? Because you're not looking at the ball. You're looking at your man. So that's why you see a bunch of pass breakups in man-to-man. Zone, everybody is looking at the quarterback. So now you get more interceptions. You get the tip balls. You get the overthrows. Why? Because you're seeing the quarterback throw the ball. That's why a lot of quarterbacks don't like zone. Why? Because everybody is looking at them. They love man-to-man because nobody's looking at them, and they can throw the ball and place the ball so accurately that they're going to hurt you. So as a coordinator, I think you have to have a good mixture. You have to have a good mixture of man-to-man and a good mixture of zone. And you can't let the quarterbacks and the offensive coordinators know when you're going to be in man and when you're going to be in zone. So when they think you're going to play man, you got to play zone. And then when they think you're going to play man, you got to play man. You got to play the game, right? That's how you do it, at least from my perspective. So it depends on the scheme that you're running, what you want to do as to the type of cornerback that you need. That's why it's important for cornerbacks to be well-rounded individuals, have good instincts, have good quickness, have good footwork, have good ball skills, so that if a team plays zone, hey, he can be a good zone corner. Hey, if a team plays man, hey, he can be a good man corner in that scheme as well. So all those different things come into play when you're looking for a corner. Just depends on what scheme that you're in. Okay. From personal preference, would you say a 4-2-5 is better or worse than a traditional 4-3? Well, it depends on what level you're playing at. A 4-2-5 in the NFL is just a nickel defense. That's really what 4-2-5 is. It's a nickel defense. And in high school or college, 4-2-5 could be, that could be an extra safety. Guys like I think his name was Isaiah Simmons that got drafted to Arizona. Those big hybrid type of safeties that can play linebacker, but they're good enough to play in the slot. The Minka Fitzpatricks and guys like that. That's really all it is. And you get that a lot in college. You get that in high school. But in the NFL, 4-2-5 is just a nickel defense. You got 4 D linemen, you got 2 linebackers, and you got 5 DBs. Just depends on, is that a nickel, is it a corner, or is it a safety? That's really all it is. So there's really no big difference. I do like the 3-4. I played in 3-4 with Wade Phillips, and I did like it. It's different than a 4-3, but I like the 3-4. It has some good things about it. I learned a lot playing in 3-4. So definitely just depends on the preference. As long as you have the right guys to play a 3-4 and the right guys to play a 4-3, you can run whatever you want. Just, do you want more D linemen on the field, or do you want more linebackers, right? Because at the end of the day, 4 D linemen or 4 rushers is the standard. So what is considered a blitz? A blitz is when you have 5 guys going after the quarterback, at least 5, okay? So if you're in the 4-3, you have 4 D linemen, right? So those guys are going basically every time. It's a blitz when you send one of your linebackers. Okay, well, if you play a 3-4, you only have 3 D linemen. So just because you send that backer, just because Denver Broncos send Von Miller or, whoever is playing 3-4, that is not a blitz. They're still only sending 4 guys. there's plenty of O linemen to pick up. They got 5 O linemen. Sending 4 guys is not a blitz. But when they send, if you're in a 3-4 and they send 2 linebackers, now they're blitzing. Why? Because they're sending 5 guys. And now we can get one-on-ones up front. We got 5 guys coming. They got 5 guys to block us, but they don't know how we're going to configure our 5 guys. So then you get the stunts, you get the picks, you get the wraps, you get the guys that are helping other guys come free to make the sack. That's what's considered a blitz when they send 5 guys. Okay? Let's see what else we got. I'm going to take a couple more. From your draft live stream. Okay. Do you ever think about coaching in the NFL? No, I don't. Those coaches spend a lot of time up there, and I love my family. I played the game for 10 years, and one thing I used to do, I used to get to the building very early. And when I would show up to the building, most of the time, coaches would be there. And I used to stay late, put in 13, 14-hour days. And when I would leave, the coaches would still be there. And so for me, I just always told myself, man, I'm going to give everything I got to the game as a player. And it would be hard for me to take a job that takes me away from my family and my kids and my wife more when I retire than I was away from them when I played. So that's why I have no interest in coaching NFL football. So that's why I just chose to be you guys' coach in the DB room. I get to talk football and have fun and teach you guys and possibly affect and impact so many more people. When you coach, you only get the guys that are on your team, and those guys are already in the NFL and they know a lot. And I still talk to a lot of those guys, and I still can help those guys. But I can impact so many guys and so many people on here that want to know what it's like, want to know the ins, want to know the outs. I can give it to you because I've experienced it. So that is why I want to coach in the DB room. In college, we played 3-3. We played 3-3-5. We had three linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 DBs. We played a hybrid scheme in college. It was very complicated, but it actually helped me. How much does the quarterback's eyes factor into the play, like Stafford looking off? Yes, that all makes a big difference, right? But let me tell you a secret. Well, I guess it's a secret. I guess I'm gonna put it out there. I had a DB coach named Alan Williams who actually coaches for the Indianapolis Colts right now. Shout out to my guy A-Dub, man. I loved him as a coach. But he taught me something because I was a huge go off the quarterback look, right? So when I first got to Detroit, Stafford used to look me off like crazy, right? Because I see him looking and I would take off. And he taught me something. So here's a little tip for safeties. The quarterback isn't going to throw the ball until he gets to the end of his drop. So what the drop is when they take the ball from under center or they get the ball out the shotgun, when they start going back and they set to throw it, because they can't throw the ball running backwards, right? So a lot of times I picked off Jay Cutler a lot of times like this. Why? Because he would come back and he'll be looking like this, but he's going backwards. So I know he can't throw the ball right now. But as soon as he would hit his back foot, boom, now he looks over here. Guess what? That's where he's going. So I would take off. And I get a great jump. He throw it. I go and pick the ball, right? So watch the quarterbacks. When they going back, don't even worry about where they're looking. When they hit that back foot, boom, and they step up to throw, where they're looking then, that's where they're throwing. And that's when having a good D-line comes into play. Because hey, my D-line is going to get there. So that quarterback looks one time, that's where he's going. But then you have some quarterbacks, and people don't realize this, but some quarterbacks like the greats, like Peyton Manning, he would look exactly where he was going. He was just that good. He would look where he was going to go, and he would throw the ball there. He knew exactly what he did. A great job pre-snap, understanding the defense, understanding his routes, and he would just throw the ball right there. He knew exactly where he wanted to go, and he was really good. But that's a little pro tip. Don't make any breaks out of the middle of the field or out of the half field until the quarterback hits his back foot and steps up. That's where he's going to throw the ball. And that's when he can throw the ball. You see a lot of times they run like those little sluggo seams, or they run a slant on one side and a seam on the other side. So the quarterback is coming back and he like do a little fake like he's throwing a slant. He can't throw it. He's running backwards. How can he throw a slant running backwards? But he do that to get a aggressive safety to bite, and then he hit the seam on the other side. The Saints used to run that all the time with Drew Brees. It's a really good play for him. Okay, let's see. Playing man to man. What are your thoughts on face guarding? Is that a thing or bad defense? I mean, face guarding is one of those things, man. It's gonna happen. These guys are good. You're gonna get caught being behind at times. So that's just a thing, man. It's you got as a DB, you got to know how to play the ball when you're not looking at the ball. And what I mean is, if you're beat and you're trailing, and I'm gonna answer this because you see this a lot, and it gets frustrating to me when I'm watching the game with people who don't understand it, because they're like, man, why he just didn't turn and look for the ball? He should have just looked at the ball. Why did he run into the guy? He should just looked at the ball, right? This is why. You're taught as a defensive back, if you're beat, you can't look at the ball. Why? Because the quarterback is not throwing you the ball. He's throwing the ball to the guy you are covering. So if I'm chasing the ball, 9 times out of 10, the quarterback is not going to underthrow it when you're beat. He's going to throw it, and the guy's going to run and catch it. So it does you no good to look back to see if the ball is coming. There's a saying that say, if you see them throw it, you will see the receiver catch it. What that means is if you're watching a quarterback as he's throwing the ball, you're probably going to watch the receiver catching it because you're not covering him. So when you're beat as a corner, you can't look. You have to go and you have to play the receiver's hands. How do you do that? Well, a lot of guys get excited when the ball comes. So guess what they do? Their eyes get big. Oh, here come the ball. So when you're running, you're looking right at them. When you see their head go up and their eyes get big, hand go up. Why? Because the ball is coming. Another tip, watch their hands. Their hands go up, your hands go up. That's why it pays for a receiver to have late hands. You heard him talk about that all the time. He had late hands. That means he's running and you never see anything, and then all of a sudden, boom, hands go out, catch the ball. You see some receivers, they run, and all of a sudden they running like this. They got their hands out so early, and that's when they get defensive pass interference, because DBs are taught when their hands go up, the ball is coming. So when those hands go up, the DBs are swiping through the hand, and they call PI. So as a DB, you can't panic when you're beat. So I can tell you guys that stuff because I wasn't a great runner. So when I played cornerback, I was trailing a lot, right? I couldn't keep up with those guys. So I had to become very good at learning how to play through hands, learning how to read receivers and not panic when you're trailing. Just go and make the play. So then when I moved to safety and I wasn't in a lot of man-to-man roles, I was able to see and understand, hey, man, I'm just playing these guys. These guys are going to tell me exactly when the ball is coming. They're going to tell me everything I need to know, and I was good at that. But it took me being in trail position and understanding that that is how you have to defend that. Okay? Let's see. I'm going to take 2 more. I'm going to get 2 good ones. Wayne Funds played 3-4. Jared Ball was the man in the middle. The people want to see us talk to each other. Okay, that's you guys. Family over everything. Yes, we appreciate. I'm glad you guys appreciate the DB room, man. Like, I really hope, I really hope you guys learn, man. I hope, it'll be my dream. It'll be my goal if, 6 years from now, I'm out somewhere and, I see a college DB or NFL DB and I hear them say, yeah, man, I remember when I was, 12, this guy started the DB room and I actually watched the videos and I learned a lot about football and he inspired me to go after my dreams and I went to college and I ended up making it to the NFL. That'd be dope, So if you got any cool stories or anything that you've been inspired by these stories or things that are going on in the DB room, please put it in the comments, put it in the chat so I can see it, so I can showcase it and let people know that, hey man, we keep it real in the DB room. We have a good time and we learn, man. We learn, motivate, inspire, do all those good things, okay? So let me see. I'm gonna get one more question. Who do you hit the hardest in your career? I don't know, man. I hit Pierre Thomas pretty hard one time. Got a couple helmet hits. Um, Took a lot of money from it. Um, I hit Tavon Austin one time too. When I was playing in Detroit, and it cost me a lot of money. um, I see what's one question. I'm gonna answer this one, and then we're gonna wrap it up, guys. What do you think about from? Is this real Jim Bob Cooter? Like, this can't be the real Jim Bob Cooter. um, but question from Jim Bob Cooter says, "What do you think about the NFL making pass interference non-reviewable again?" First of all, I didn't even know that because I don't spend a lot of time watching what's going on in the NFL. I see a few things, and if it's exciting to me, I research it and learn more, see what's going on. But I don't spend a lot of time watching it live, so I didn't even know they had made it non-reviewable again. But my thing on that is, I think their instant replays, I think they really affect the game, and I think they make the game more, I would say, technology based, meaning like back in the days or in high school, like you get close to the end zone, it looks like a touchdown. They call it a touchdown, and it is what it is. You either on the good end of it or you on the bad end of it. In the NFL, the fact that they can have the camera to slow the game down so close and see from a blade of grass that, oh, he was out of bounds. Like what's the point of having referees then? What is the point, right? Those guys are here, they see it, they make the call. It is what it is. Sometimes it's going to go in your favor, sometimes it's not. That's how it is defensively. You make a PI, sometimes it's going to go in your favor, sometimes it's not. That's just kind of how it is. That's why they're referees. They get paid to do a great job, and all of them don't do a great job. I understand that. Some of them do. But reviewing a PI, a lot of times by the letter of the law, even if you touch a guy downfield, it should be a penalty, right? But sometimes they call it, sometimes they don't. Why? I don't know. I don't know why. I wish I knew the answer to that question. But being able to review it, a lot of times it puts the pressure on the NFL that they don't want. So I think they want it to be a judgment call. Did you think it was PI? Or did you not? Because like I said, everybody's gonna call it different. So that's why it's important to know who the referees are, how they calling it. If they calling it tight, then you gotta play it tight. If they calling it loose, then you can be a little more aggressive. I like when they let him play. You know what I'm saying? If he's gonna push me, let me push him back. Like, it just is what it is. If he's gonna grab me, let me grab him back. If you're not gonna let me grab him, then don't let him push me. That's just the way it is. And so that's where you see the frustration coming in from DBs, because they're calling us for certain things, but they're not calling it on the other side. So I was never really for the reviewing of the instant replay, and I actually feel like they got it wrong when they even reviewed it. I feel like the Saints got screwed again, because Kyle Rudolph from Minnesota, he clearly pushed off in the end zone and caught that touchdown. And I'm not being a Vikings hater. That's just the facts. He clearly pushed off. Anytime that arm separates and you create that space, it was a clear push off. So the Saints got screwed again. So I think the NFL don't like that pressure, man. So like I said, man, I appreciate all you guys tuning in, man. Like I said, I'm sorry that the first stream didn't work. I was trying to stream to Facebook and YouTube at the same time, and for some reason the Facebook went live and YouTube didn't. I don't know. So I got to figure that out so that next week we don't have those problems. Because like I said, I'm going to have my guy Darius Lee in the DB room talking some great stuff, man. So make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys tell a friend. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Make sure you share so that we can get some more subscribers. I like having questions, okay? So like I said earlier, before I even got started, it's Mother's Day weekend. Appreciate your moms. Hopefully everyone has a mom that they can appreciate, has a wife, somebody. If you don't, I still pray for you, man. And I won't be posting a video this Monday because I'm gonna spend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday celebrating my wife and my mom, and then I'll get ready for the show on Wednesday. So I won't be posting a video. That's why I went over the 12 personnel stuff today. Hopefully I can get this to be on my YouTube page so people can go and look at it if they didn't catch the stream. So until next time, you know what I say, guys. Until next time, peace. And I thank you guys for joining the show. Give yourself a hand, and we'll see you guys next week.